everybody, my name is James Leggett, and today I'm here with another interview to promote the series which I edited an episode of The City is Ours. Would you like to introduce yourself, guest?
I'm Frances Broudie Oldridge, and I played DI Francis Markowski, or Francis Marks, in The City is Ours.
Okay. Question 1. How did you get into acting?
Well, I've been a singer for 40 years, a session singer and a singer-songwriter in my own right with numerous albums online. And for me, it was a natural progression. Also because I do a rather unusual day job, which involves acting per se. So I thought I'm going to take some tuition and I'm going to fully immerse myself as an actor as opposed to a singer, or both. So that's how I basically made a transition from a performer as a singer to a performer as an actor.
Okay. Question 2. How tough was COVID in your career?
Honestly, it was fantastic because I set myself, because I'm a singer. I am very used to being behind a microphone. I understood how to achieve various different technical, vocal nuances. So I set up a studio at home. Actually, after it was probably my fourth studio that I'd ever owned, but the first studio that I've actually learned how to manipulate myself. And I studied with Gravy for the Brain for a few months, and then I just set myself up and started producing audio drama. So for me, because I was static, because I'm very proactive, I'm constantly busy. I fill up 24 hours of my day, and because I was home, I couldn't do that. I then invested in myself as an audio producer. So for me, it was fabulous.
Okay. Question 3. What's easier, theatre acting or film acting?
Well, they're completely different. I mean, completely different animals, I think. They've both got positives and they've both got negatives. So I think from a time management point of view, um, I'd say theatre takes a lot more work for a very fairly short kind of moment in time. And also, it's a very instantaneous thing. Whereas film is completely different because you are segmented. There's no natural running order for film. You're often learning small sections, whereas with theatre, you have to learn the whole thing. I mean, I'm actually in rehearsal for a theatre production at the moment, and yeah, I love it, but it's scary. It's scary, but it never ceases to amaze me that if you put the work in, your brain manages to take it in. It's amazing. It's fascinating the way that works.
Okay. Question 4. Favourite role you have played?
Well, there's a few actually. I loved the role that I played in the short, which is the award-winning short, Deadly Blue, because I'm often cast as a hard, dark character, you know, um, vicious, nasty. Whereas in Deadly Blue, the character Gabriella, she was very glamorous. She was very dark, but she was very glamorous. So I enjoyed being a different type of dark character, one without malice, shall we say. One where, as an older woman, I couldn't be more womanly rather than being a horror, you know. So that's the role I'm going to say I really liked playing. There's been lots of really good roles for me that I've liked. Um, so yeah, lots of different roles. I like the crazy ones. I do.
Okay. Question 5. Favourite on-set experience?
I guess my favourite on-set experience was my first feature with director Dominic Morgan, DB Morgan, And I was thrown in at the deep end with a few good actors that were quite established, and it was all shot in his barn. And I played a lady with dementia and a complete crazy, and I was crawling around in the garage on my hands and knees in a nightie, being a bit of a horror. Again, but it was a great experience. The two other actors were upside down in a car. Yeah, it was a fabulous start to my first feature.
Okay. Question 6. Worst on-set experience?
Worst on-set experience. Well, okay, that was the last feature. Morris Men, just out on Amazon Prime. We had a mad director. We had a mad director who turned into, sadly, not a very nice person. And I believe that, in fact, he tried to rewrite the film, and it didn't go well. But as actors, we all suffered. We all really suffered, because we all, part of your acting training is to trust your director, and the director has the best at heart. But that really wasn't the case, and we really suffered with that. So that was the worst case scenario. Yeah, shame.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the pain of having to rewrite the script on set on short notice. Oh, that's so annoying.
Well, he took it upon himself to do it. That wasn't his job, but that's what he did.
So,
And of
so,
course, everything.
so just to be
Sorry.
clear, there was no outside circumstances. He just decided on his own, without any prompting, I'm going to
More
rewrite
or less.
this.
More or less, yes.
What an asshole. Okay. Moving on to something happier now. Question 7. What do you think are the differences between professional filmmakers and student filmmakers?
I've done a lot of student films, lots and lots of them, and they are very different. Some of the student films I feel have been fantastic, and some of them I think need to be. It's like they had no bedside manner, some of them, and as far as an actor who gives up your time, a professional actor who gives up your time to go and work on a student production, often for nothing, even though I have been made aware that there are some unis now that are supposed to be paying us and they're not. I feel that they need to look after us a little bit more, and I think that's probably not their fault, but that needs to be in the training. Professional, I haven't really got any complaints. I've done many professional things, and they look after you really, really well, whether it's corporate or whether it's film or whether it's theatre. But I believe that it's not the students' fault. There is a big difference. In their training, they really need to be made aware of how to look after the people that come onto their sets. Not only from designing the call sheets in a way where you're not hanging around for hours, but just looking after us, giving us a safe place to stay, providing us with drinks, providing us with food if we're there for a long time. So there is quite a difference, and there's quite a difference between one student production and another student production.
Okay.
That's why.
Question 8. How did you get involved with The City as Ours?
I auditioned for Carl, and I was interested in being able to develop my own character, which I was allowed to do. And they're a great bunch of people. And Carl, I found, was fabulous to work with. He had so much patience. To just deal with not knowing how many people are going to turn up on that day is a stressful thing. And it just was just like water off a duck's back with him. He had a smile on his face. I never saw him upset or angry at all. So he was a joy to work with.
Question 9. Tell us about the character you play in The City as Ours.
About the character I play?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wrote Detective Inspector Frances Marks, whose real name was Markowski. She came up from the Met. She's a Londoner, and she is a Jewish lady. And she, because of discrimination. She hid her religious nature, her religious origins. So she would be more accepted, hardened herself. But the point that I think Detective Frances Markowski originally, I envisaged her to be a negotiation, a link between the Manchester Jewish community, because there is a Jewish community in Manchester, and whenever they're portrayed on TV, they're often portrayed in quite crass scenarios. It's nothing with a great deal of substance, and I think there are good and bad in all people, all religions. And I think it would have been a good opportunity to explore some of the darker sides of that community. At this point, that didn't happen because the story went in the way of many different writers. But that's basically why I wrote her the way I did.
Okay. Question 10. What was it like on set?
Cold. Sometimes it was wet. It was what it was. We were given a meeting place, and we turned up and we performed as actors.
Okay.
We performed with people we didn't know. We performed occasionally with people we did know. It was interesting. It was fun. I can't wait to see the end product. I think it's a great feat. It's a huge lot of footage there. Huge lot of footage. So I'm really interested to see how that comes out.
Yeah, I did edit one of the episodes, so
Did you?
Yeah, I did episode 11. I definitely edited at least one of your scenes.
Did you?
Yeah. And technically two, because although the second was just you leaving a voicemail, but still I did
Okay.
edit at least two of your scenes.
And what did you think as an editor?
Oh, well, I was more concerned with getting the structure down because of how different the episode was to the script, and it took me a while to figure out a structure that made logical sense, but I was able to get it to work out in the end.
That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah, okay. Episode 11. Any dream roles or films that haven't happened / don't exist yet?
You know what? I'm a great fan of Harold Pinter. I loved a play called The Deep Blue, which wasn't a Pinter play. I can't think who wrote it, but the character in that particular play I would love to play. That was played by Polly Peaky, who died. That wonderful actress. Sorry, her name escapes me. I'm terrible with remembering people's names, but that's a role I would love to play. Film, I don't know, there's so much out there, and I never get I've always got my head in a script, so I don't often get to actually watch anything because all of my spare time I'm learning a part, so I'm not sure what my dream script is. Somebody dark and complicated, that's what I'd say.
Okay. Well, that's the end of the questions. Thanks for your time. Hopefully by the time this interview is released, the City of Wales will be out, so go watch it wherever it's available and stuff.
Brilliant. I shall look forward to that. Thanks ever so much, James.
Okay.
Have a nice
afternoon. Stuff.
Bye for now. Bye.